right, so settle yourself into a soft child's pose and feel your forehead nice and heavy down towards the ground. For a few different reasons. One, you're getting very close to the earth. So you're folding in close down to the energy of the earth. But you're also folding into yourself. And if you can, for a few moments, just envision this as a coming home to yourself. A soft and protected space. Gently folding in to yourself. Let the thighs soften, the hips soften. The gentle rounding forward of the spine and the shoulders. And notice the soft expression of breath that's already flowing through. This first couple of conscious breaths into your body feel so amazing. And really feel that shift from just existing out in the world, right, unconsciously, to actually being right here, very present in this experience of the now. With each breath that you are conscious of, you are right here in the moment of now. It's that observation of the body breathing. Now I'm going to direct you in a special kind of breath called apana, which apana is referring to a flow of energy in the body. This particular flow is a downward flow of energy in the body, cleansing, clearing, releasing flow. And you can find that by imagining that the lungs can stretch down into the lower back and hips, as if they could reach right down there and inflate the hips on inhalation. And on exhalation, that energy softly comes back together, the muscles of the pelvic floor, right at the root. It's called Mula Bandha, the root lock, but very gentle. On the inhalation, any squeeze that you feel there releases. The hips and the lower back inflate as if they were two balloons. And then on exhalation, that energy softens back together there towards the pelvic floor. Maybe a very gentle expression of this root lock, which means that you slightly contract pelvic floor muscles, lower and down. But on a scale of 1 to 10, about a 1. You release that contraction, the breath inflates, and you can feel that expansion in this lower part of your body. And on exhalation, that energy coming back down towards this root, right there at the base of the spine. And just play with that for a few moments. It's a beautiful breathing technique to start to bring things down to where you can release and clear them, both physically and energetically. This is a very clearing, cleansing breath. By the way, you can do this breath in any position. You could do this seated. You could do it lying on your back. So here in child's pose, you're still there. Just one more of these apana breaths, inflating hips and lower back. And as you exhale, let that come back together at the root. Good. And then just let any breath control go. Just once again, allowing the body to breathe itself as you observe any effects from this pranayama, which means breathing exercise. See if you can soften a little bit more towards the earth And more importantly, soften a little bit more towards self, more self. Go ahead and slowly come on up to hands and knees. And you might need to release at the knee joints. And once you're on hands and knees, gently, not to full extension, but very gently push back through the right heel and rock through the knee joint a little bit. And then do the same thing on the left side or the opposite side. And just give a little soft expression of pressing the heel back just to release there at the knee joint. All right, so we will be practicing downward facing puppy. And for Debbie, you're going to maybe just stay a little bit more upright like this as I'm demonstrating, or you could even be doing some cat and cow. But for everybody else, walk the hands a little bit more forward and stretch the chest back towards the thighs. I referenced inversion a little bit earlier in the conversation. And what an inversion is your hips are higher than your heart. So as the hands walk forward and you stretch your chest back towards your thighs, the hips are going to be lifted. And this creates a nice downward flow of energy, but in the opposite direction that we were working on before. Now the energy is moving towards the throat, the face, the brain. And that means the blood flow is as well. And what this does is creates some spaciousness for your heart. It softens the heart. It doesn't have to work as hard. Tailbone is lifting up towards the ceiling, chest is stretching back towards the thighs. Nice and slow, begin to walk the hands back in so they're under the shoulders, and then start to make some circles through the hips. So you're going to circle around in one direction, and then circle around in the opposite direction. And then come on back to center, and now make the hips really still. And now you're going to start to circle through the rib cage. So try to keep the hips still. This is a little more challenging to isolate, but feels really good for releasing attachments at the shoulder blades and the lower ribs. So take a couple more circles in one direction, and then settle back to center for a moment. You might like to take a nice deep breath in and out. And then start to circle around in the opposite direction. So just making those circles with the rib cage, loosening some of those attachments that can get tight. And come on back to that center position and take another one of those deep breaths, breathing in. Breathing out, you can sigh it out. Good. And with the hands directly under the shoulders and the knees under the hips, with the feet flat on the floor, or you can curl the toes under. That feels a little bit more grounded, completely up to you. Starting some rounds of cat and cow. So just loosening everything up, trying to get some space in between the vertebrae and the chest and the shoulders. And each time that you feel these sensations in the body, let that be an experience of being right here in this moment and to reconnecting to self, because these are your sensations. And then bringing that back to a neutral position. And you're going to extend out through the right leg, give a nice little push through the sole of your foot. Then bending at the knee, starting some hip circles. Circling around one direction. And then pause for a moment, and then take it the opposite way. Loosening up that space of the hip. Come on back to center and then lower the knee. And then bending at the left knee, and you're going to do the same thing. Just circling around. Come back to stillness for a moment, and then change directions. And then lowering the knee, you're going to walk your hands back forward again for downward facing puppy one more time, stretching the chest back towards the thighs. You have the option to stay in downward facing puppy or bring the hands a little bit closer to the body, curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. And if you're in dog pose, pedal out the feet. And if one of those two is not available to you, you can take some more rounds of cat and cow. We'll just be here for a moment, just a transition pose. You warm up feet and ankles. Then take a moment if you're in down dog to be in stillness and press the chest back towards the thighs. Breathe in as you lengthen, and then if you're in the standing position, look forward and you're going to walk your feet up to your hands. Take as many steps as you need. And if you're on your knees, you're also going to be transitioning to a standing position. So you can bring your feet up like this. And then once everybody is there, feet towards the front of the mat and feet towards the hands, on your inhalation, straighten your legs, come into a flat back position. So a lot of times the tendency is to round like this. Make sure the chest softens towards the floor and you're really lengthening out through the crown of the head. This will be your inhalation. As you breathe out, soften the knees, crown of the head down towards the floor. And do that a few more times. Inhale, lengthen the spine. It's a nice stretch for the backs of your legs. And on your exhalation, soften and fold. 2 more times, breathing in, legs get straight, spine gets straight. On the exhalation, everything curls in, folds in for itself. Inhalation, reaching out. And exhalation, softening, letting go as you fold. Good. Once you're in this folded position, take your feet about hips width apart. And take a hold of opposite elbows. You have a bend in the knees and your belly is on your thighs. And then just sway a little bit, side to side. This is so great for releasing the rib cage. As you sway in one direction, you'll feel some stretch in between the ribs on the opposite side. And then as you go the other direction, you'll feel it stretch in the opposite rib cage. Take that a couple more times. Come back to center and then place your hands down on the floor. And what you're going to be doing is bending through your left knee and lifting the left heel off the floor and keep the right hand on the ground. And then you're going to reach up through your left arm. It's just a way to soften the twist so it doesn't feel quite so pinchy. If you lift the left heel off the ground, a little more space to rotate. Breathe in. And then bring the left heel and left hand back down to the floor and do the opposite side. Lift the right heel up, the knee bends a little bit more, and then reaching up with the right arm just to soften, not so much pull in the hamstring or the hip as you rotate. One more breath as you reach up, and then soften the heel and the hand back to the floor. And now take a nice deep bend in the knees, and from the pit of the belly, roll yourself on up. Once you're standing, you're going to roll through your shoulders. And I'm going to adjust this just a little bit because we're going to be doing a few standing poses. All right. So this little series that we're going to do is called Joints and Glands. And so, true to its name, it's going to help to loosen those things up. And it's pretty easy. You just take a soft stance on the knees, and you're just going to start to swing your arms. Just swinging the arms, obviously helping to loosen up the shoulder joint. The breath is just smooth and flowing. With a little bit of energy going. And then every other time, you're going to bend the elbow and then swing the arms. Bend the elbow, swing the arms. The really basic stuff. Now you're helping to get some space in the elbow joint. Good. Do that a couple more times. And the next transition is going to be crossing of the arms. So cross, and then take the opposite cross. So you're just swinging. This feels pretty good behind the shoulder blades. Keep breathing. Just a smooth breath in and out through the nose. Good. And then you can just come back to stillness. And you're going to be interlacing your fingers. And on the inhalation, the arms reach up. So you're going to lose my hands there for viewing. I'm going to reach up like this. And then as you exhale, bring the elbows down, but you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. And that's the pattern. On the inhalation, you reach up. And on the exhalation, elbows bend, squeeze the shoulder blades together. That helps to open the chest, and it also feels good in the shoulder blades. Do that a few more times. Inhaling up. Exhaling, bending the elbows, squeezing in. Inhale, stretching up. And exhale, bending in. Last time, reaching up. And bending in. Good. And now to start to swing. And as you swing, lift your heel up as you go to the opposite side. So again, same idea as that twist. Lifting the heel just softens it. And the head is going along with you as you just swing. Should feel really good in the spine. And then try to pick a point to focus on and keep your head still, but continue to rotate the body. So that's going to just get you a little bit deeper in the shoulder blades as you keep the head still. There's no perfect way to do it. You don't have to fight with yourself, but just see if you can do that a couple more times with the head still. All right. And then come back to center and take a moment just to stand and observe in mountain pose, because there should be a nice little flow of energy moving through you. The palms can face forward, the arms can just relax, but press down into your feet so you have some activation in the legs. And just feel that little hum of prana, of energy vibrating through your body. And you can breathe in any way that feels appropriate for you in this moment. The eyes are closed, gently open. And then you're going to bend your knees. The feet are about hips width apart. So sitting down kind of like this. I'll give you a couple different views. The hands are in here through the center. And what you're going to be doing is on inhalation, just a little bit like cow pose. You're just going to open up the chest a little bit. And as you breathe in, see if you can feel energy in the legs as well. And then as you breathe out, you're going to start to draw in through the lower abdominals, navel center. Try to get all the way up to the solar plexus. Lift through the pelvic floor. That's that root lock we were talking about earlier. And then on the inhalation, dropping down, letting go. A little bit of a cow position. And do that a few times. As you exhale, like we're drawing up through the legs, squeezing belly button towards the spine. Try to get all the way up to the rib cage, squeezing in. And then release the rib cage first, the belly, and then the tail, feeling the energy really down the feet into the earth. And continue a couple more rounds. Exhalation, drawing in, drawing up. Inhalation, releasing that squeeze of the ribs, the belly, lower abdominals, tail lifts. And one more time. And then from here, just come to a standing position, bringing the soles of the feet together, big toes to touch, standing in mountain pose. Really press down through the soles of your feet and lengthen through the crown of the head. So much more active than that first variation that we just did. Really connecting feet to earth and feel yourself standing tall. Come back to the breath, in and out through the nose, and take a few moments to really smooth and even the breath. On your next inhalation, sweep the arms up and overhead and interlace your fingers. I'm going to come down lower to the ground so you can see that you'll be standing. Let the index fingers point up towards the ceiling and then squeeze the biceps by the ears. So depending on your shoulders, if this is not possible, the hands may have to separate, but you still want them to be very active. So you're reaching, this top part of the shoulder softens, so you're not hunching and contracting like that, but it softens so that you can get long through the arms. And then you're just going to hold here. So this is really opening up space in the upper part of your spine as you extend and reach. I want you to watch those sensations that start to happen when you're working, right? And we tend to be like, oh, I feel something, it doesn't feel so comfortable. I want you to not to a place of pain or anything like that, but maybe there's some slight discomfort, that's okay. Just observe and try to keep your breath smooth and even. Already got a lot of good space in the shoulders, a lot of synovial fluid moving through all of those movements that we did. And now holding static, a very different feeling. See if you can take a few more breaths. Try to squeeze the biceps to the ears if you have the interlace. You're not trying to be in pain, you're just trying to feel the sensations. And if you have the hands together, take a breath in. And your first release is going to just be separating to shoulder width apart. And just observe, oh, feels so good, right? It's like you're there and that sensation, thinking, this is uncomfortable or whatever the thoughts that come up. First release already, it feels great. And as you hold here for a few moments, the sensation's going to come back. So just notice these changes, these shifts in perception. It's mostly in our mind. Yes, there's some stuff going on in the physical body, but a lot of it is just perception in the mind. And now slowly start to lower the arms down out in front to shoulder height. Oh, there's another release, feels really great. Take a moment to enjoy that release of sensation. And as you hold here, you'll start to feel some different sensations starting to build up. So it takes strength, not just in the muscle, but also in the attachments to hold the arms like this. And stay for just a few more breaths, just so you can watch the shifting and changing sensations. And then release the hands all the way down and take that relaxed position in mountain pose where the arms are just resting by the sides. The legs can still be a bit active. So you still feel a connection of feet to the earth, but the arms are really relaxed. And feel all of that vibration and energy. Once you release the stuff that feels a little more uncomfortable, you get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine that comes behind. Turn your eyes up to the space between the eyebrows if you can close the eyes and be steady here. And just letting that integrate through the space of the brain. There's two transitions available here. One is to simply come down to hands and knees and transition into downward facing puppy. So you'll take a nice slow transition down onto the knees first. Or you can inhale and reach the arms up and overhead for upward salutes. As you exhale, maybe soften the knees a little bit, swan dive forward. On your inhalation, find that flat back position where the legs are straight, spine is straight. And then putting the hands down on the ground and stepping back either to hands and knees or to plank. So there's definitely lots of options for every body. If you are feeling that's too much for the shoulders and knees are on the floor, maybe if you are in plank position, you'd like to hold that just to feel the sensations build, drawing the belly in and up. You can use that little bit of root lock we've been working on, and then drawing in and up through the muscles of the pelvic floor and the thighs will help to create strength here. If you're still in plank, take one more breath. And then you will also lower your knees down to the ground, and everyone will find a wide knee child's pose position if that works for your body. Settling the hips back towards the heels, softening forehead down towards the floor, and take that nice deep resting position. Should feel really good after all of that work. So the arms are really softening, shoulders are really softening. Just noticing how good it feels to fold back in towards the earth, and in particular, back into yourself. Most yogis that I know they find it very, we'll use the word easy, very easy to be kind to other people. Outwardly, you know, we like to radiate that part of the practice as kindness and compassion and those things. But not always does that same kindness and compassion go back to self. So we can have a dialogue that runs through our mind, oftentimes unconsciously, that is not so kind. And so I want you to take a moment to be really aware of kindness towards self and all of the efforts that you have already put in to the practice this morning, and honoring your ability to show up and do some work, feel some discomfort, feel some sensation, breathe through it, and hopefully maintain the kindness in the dialogue towards self. So what if you can hold your arms up the whole time? It doesn't matter. I absolutely promise you that will not make you a nicer person. So you just take time here to fold in. I'm going to throw out one more Sanskrit term as you're folding in here that I reference often in practice, which is smarana. And it means self-remembrance. It's a very important concept in yoga. It's almost the most important, because the entire philosophical construct of yoga, and these postures are just one tiny part, is all about coming back to that place deep inside where you remember who you truly are. And that is, according to yoga, a place that is untouched by anything that has happened to you, the changes in your body as time goes by. None of those things, the job that you do or that you don't have anymore, or any of those things, that has nothing to do with the essence of you. It's not who you are in the soul. And so taking this moment to fold in to some smarana, some remembrance of who you truly are, which is whole and perfect and beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling out. Rising back up to hands and knees. All right, so placing yourself in the fours position, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And you're going to just soften the chin down towards the chest a little bit and start to take some little neck rolls here, but only half. So you're going to roll your right ear towards your right shoulder, and then roll your ear towards your left shoulder. And just do that a couple times. So in this all fours position, you have a more protected space for the neck. So if you tend to be really sensitive and can't really do neck rolls, this is a way that you might find a little more spaciousness and feel a little more protected. So you can stay here just kind of doing these half rolls. It should feel pretty nice. So we're still working on this joints and glands series, mixing this in. This is really great for the thyroid and of course for all of those vertebrae in the neck. But if you feel comfortable, you can start to very softly and gently continue that circle all the way around. And you can see that you can't let your head drop back as far when you're on hands and knees. So hopefully that lets you feel very protected in that delicate space of the neck. We take one more in this direction. And then go to back to center. Take a moment to pause, a breath in and out. And then go the opposite way. Just taking a range of motion that feels very protective for your neck. Right, do one more coming around. And then come back to center, take a breath in and out. And then setting up for thread the needle. So you're gonna really press down into the left palm. Remember when we were doing the exercise with drawing the belly in and up? I want you to really suck the belly in and up. And you'll feel almost like a small cat position in the spine. And from there, you're gonna be able to find more space to open up through the right hand, arm reaching up, breathe in. And as you exhale, thread on through. You're gonna come all the way down to the ground and get really heavy on the right side of your body. Everything heavy and releasing into the floor. So when you get heavy, you're gonna get a stretch on the outer part of your right shoulder and a gentle stretch in these scalenes here that run down the right side of the neck. Those can get very, very tight. So get heavy, soften in, get some stretch there. And then you can activate the twisting part of the posture by sliding the left hand closer to your face and then pressing down into that palm, let the left elbow bend up towards the ceiling. And now the right side of your face is lifting off of the floor and you're getting a good rotation through the upper part of your back. So feeling that twisting in the upper part of your spine. There's some other fun variations here. If you like to practice those, you could extend the left arm out on the fingertips and temple palm, or you could even reach up through the left arm. So you can play around a little bit, exploring different variations if you like. And then bringing the left palm back down if you lifted it, press into the palm, slide on through, and as you come through center, you're gonna pause here for a lion's breath. And then that means you're going to take a big inhale. And as you exhale, you're gonna stick your tongue out and make some noise like this. Good, we'll try that one more time, breathing in. Exhaling with a lion's breath. Getting some nice vibration there in the throat. All right, second side. Scoop the belly in and up, really lifting up through the navel center, almost feeling a little bit of cat rounding in the upper spine. And then reaching up with the left arm. Give a nice big reach, stretch and open. And then threading through. In this first part of the pose, get heavy. Bring the right forearm down to the floor. Everything releasing, heavy into the floor. Stretching outer left shoulder, stretching the left side of the neck. Then activating the twist by pressing down into the right palm, letting the right elbow point up towards the ceiling. To get that good rotation established in the upper part of your spine. And then if you tried any other variation, you can play around for a few moments there. whatever feels good. So you release. If you lifted the right hand, bring it back down, press into the palm, rotate back through. Coming back to center. One more lion's breath. Breathing in. Stick the tongue out, make some noise, clear the throat. That also really stretches the jaw. That should feel really good there. All right, so you're going to come up now to stand on your knees. And we're going to see how this goes. Everybody is different. And I'm going to also say that if in the opening position of child's pose, you felt any discomfort in the knees, and by the way, I didn't remind you today, but if you do have sensitive knees and you're feeling any pressure on the kneecaps, remember, you can always lay a blanket or a towel even on the mat like this to provide more cushion. So this would be to protect the little bony part of the knee. And then if you have sensitivity in the backs of your knees, you might like to place a cushion or a blanket like this behind the knees. And I'm going to demonstrate what you're going to be doing. Because you're going to be reaching the arms up like this, and then you're going to be coming down into a child's pose, bringing the hand to the lower back and folding in, forehead down towards the ground. And it's going to be dynamic. So you're going to be reaching up, and then as you come down, you want to get the opposite hand on top. That. And so you're going to continue. And you might not need the cushion behind the knees. Either way is totally fine. Now remember that if none of this is working for you, that you can always be in a full child's pose just resting. That's always available. Just moving through. Reaching up on inhalation, folding in on exhalation, and crossing the opposite hand on top. As you fold, take 2 more rounds. And you can feel this working muscularly through the abdominals. That's what's squeezing you down. And then it's opening up chest and shoulders as you bring the hands to the lower back. Good. As you complete this last round, you're going to come on up, reach up, big breath. And now you're going to transition into a hero's pose. Once again, really think about protecting the knees. For some people, sitting back on the heels is very comfortable, like this. For other people, they need to sit on something like that, sitting on a block or a holster or a cushion, so that you have less pressure on the knees. The final variation, if none of those work for you, would simply be to sit in easy seat, cross-legged position. So taking a seat that is comfortable for your body, and then close the eyes. Let the spine stack. Feel energy up through the crown of the head. The chin is parallel to the floor, but if you're used to kind of holding the chin up, that might feel like a slight lowering and drawing back of the chin so that the back of the neck is long. And start to notice the sensation of breath through your nostrils. First, just experience your body breathing itself. Try not to control the breath in any way. Just notice the sensations and natural flow of the breath in your body. And start to lengthen inhalations and exhalations consciously. So you're drawing a longer breath in, feeling the sensation of breath in the nostrils as you inhale. And feeling the sensation of breath as you exhale. Now, without using your hands, you can just keep the hands resting on the lap with palms facing up or down. There's another mudra, the palms up with left hand down on the lap and right hand on top of the left hand. If you need a little bit more grounding, that can be nice. And just with the mind, we're going to begin Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. So I want you to try to concentrate the sensation of breath. Don't try too hard, just play with it. Breathing in through the left side nostril and breathing out through the right. Breathe in through the right and breathe out through the left. Continuing to go back and forth, just using the power of your concentration, your mind. Start to notice how your attention and energy, as you concentrate, really starts to move to the interior space. So I'm throwing a lot of Sanskrit at you this morning. I'll give you a couple more terms. So the turning of the senses within is called pratyahara. It's one of the 8 limbs of yoga. So that is withdrawal of the senses, turning your senses from the exterior to the interior. Feeling the sensation of breath, concentrating in one side and then the other as your experience moves deeper to the interior space. And to do this, it takes a lot of concentration, and that's dharana. When you start to build that deep concentration, what happens next is meditation. And it can be very spontaneous once you create the withdrawal of the senses and the concentration. Take a few more rounds, going back and forth. Complete one more round. You'll know you're complete when you've exhaled out to the left. Once you are complete, just release any control of the breath and simply just aware of the natural sensations, body breathing itself, the natural gentle sensations of the breath on inhalation and on exhalation. You don't need to do anything, just watching the body breathe. We've talked about in previous classes the idea of the breath and its spiraling action as it flows in. Maybe you are aware of a gentle spiraling sensation of the breath as it moves into the body. And a gentle spiraling as it goes back out. No need to do anything, be effortless. We talked about the electric charge that you might notice, some sensations of breath. If you let the nasal membrane grow more sensitive, maybe you feel a slight electric charge to the breath as it spirals in. You don't need to do anything. Watch the body breathe. And take just a gentle but slightly deeper breath in to fill yourself up. Soft sighs, you exhale out. Try to maintain that nice, peaceful, deep interior space as you transition to lying on your back. So maybe the eyes are only like half open as you come down and onto the floor. Take a position for bridge pose. Knees pointing up towards the ceiling. The heels are hips width apart, arms are alongside. Nice and easy, pressing down into the feet. On inhalation, lifting the hips, lifting the arms up and overhead so the backs of the hands come to the floor behind you. That's your inhalation. And on exhalation, slowly lowering down one vertebra at a time. And continue to practice this dynamic variation of bridge pose. Inhaling, lifting, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, softening back down, using the strength of your abdominals, massage on the spine as you return to the floor. And as you continue to flow this way, I want you to notice the length of your breath. You're going to start out by inhaling, lifting up, taking a count of 3. So you want to match the breath and the movement. And exhaling down to a count of 3. Should feel relatively easy to do that. It's a fairly short count of breath. Inhaling to lift to a count of 3. And exhale, lowering down, count of 3. The next time that you start a fresh round, you're going to inhale, lifting up to a count of 4. And lowering down, count of 4. Just need to concentrate a little bit more deeply to match that breath and movement, lengthening the breath and the movement to a count of 4. And the next time that you start a fresh round, you're going to lengthen that to a count of 5. Really bringing a deep level of concentration as you slowly lift up hips and arms, trying to make that movement and breath match. Count of 5. And slowly lowering down. Count of 5. And take 2 or 3 more rounds depending on how your body's feeling. And then you can always come to rest on the floor anytime that you're ready. When you've completed your rounds and have returned to the floor, take all the time that you need. You're going to gently bring the knees in towards the belly, wrap your arms around the shins, and give yourself a nice, gentle hug. So this is kind of like doing child's pose on your back. You're folding in. This is the opposite way. And this pose is called Apanasana. So you might recognize that now because we were doing the Apana breath earlier. And so with this gentle compression of thighs against the belly, once again, find that expression of breath in the lower part of your body. So the belly is a little bit blocked by the thighs, so really see if you can find it gently. The inflation of the hips, the buttocks, the lower back, as if the lungs could reach down there and inflate those spaces on inhale. And as you exhale, that coming together of energy at the root. Gentle, about an effort of about 1 out of 10. The inhalation, feeling the pelvis blossom with breath. And as you exhale, that energy gently comes back together at the root. This is creating a downward flow of energy in the body. So if there's anything that you would like to bring to mind in this moment that you'd really rather not hold on to, if there's something that kind of got shaken loose during practice or rose up during the meditation portion that you would like to release and let go of now, this is a great time to invoke that intention as you're working on this cleansing, clearing, elimination pose. And releasing the arms now out to the side, just about shoulder height, not higher. And then take the thighs a little bit away from the belly. You're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, you're going to lower your knees over to the left. And we're going to do this dynamically. You're going to breathe in, bring the knees back up, and then as you exhale, take them over to the right. And so you're just going to continue to flow through the positions, and this is going to feel very different than a regular spinal twist, much more massaging and compressing to the abdominal organs. So specifically, I mean, this is very good for your digestion, it's very good for elimination, but I also want you to use this as a way to create a little fire, a little will to fuel that intention of letting go that you just invoked. So just a little bit more, going one side and then the other. Use the breath to help. The inhales lift the knees back to center, and the exhales take you to the opposite side. Take one more round and you'll know you're complete after you've taken the knees over to the right. And then squeezing the knees back to center. Give yourself another hug, but separate the knees more towards the armpits. And taking a hold of something, either the edges of the feet, it might be the backs of the knees or the ankles for happy baby pose. And just rock out a little gently, side to side, massaging up the lower back. Should feel like a very nice release for your hip joints. Make your way back to center and take a moment now for any other pose that you might need to feel complete. But if you're feeling complete, you can start to head into Shavasana. So I don't want you to feel rushed. If there's something that's really calling out your name that you want to practice before you feel you're ready for final relaxation, go ahead and do that. And then set up for a cozy nest. We're going to have a little bit longer Shavasana today, and there's going to be some guiding in it as well. So once you're there, make sure you have support underneath your knees. Make sure that you have something to cushion your head. If you need darkness to really let go and relax, feel free to cover the eyes, cover the body for warmth, whatever makes you feel completely safe, protected, cozy in your little nest. Once you are reclined, but don't rush, take your time. When you are reclined, I want you to really think about surrendering the body into the support that you've created. So there's no feeling of holding muscularly in the body at all. It might take you a few moments of watching your breath or even sighing the breath out to start to tap into that full release. So take your time. And go back into that sensation of being completely effortless. Releasing the need to control body or breath at this time. You've already got to do that part, and now this is the part where you surrender and let go. Feeling yourself heavy and surrendered into the earth. Aware of any sensations in your body. You're not trying to completely tune out from sensations, but instead become this idea of awareness. Spacious in the body, spacious in the breath, and that you yourself are the spacious awareness. There's nothing to do, you just let that feeling rise up. As you surrender, body heavy into the earth. And then bring awareness. You might feel like a sensation of breath, not that you're breathing there, but breath as prana. Maybe you notice light or some other color, but bringing awareness to the space of the midbrain. All awareness concentrate in the space of the midbrain. Breath is surrendered, body is surrendered. There's nothing to do except bring awareness to the space of the midbrain. And as awareness concentrates there, you might notice color, maybe a point of light, maybe just sensation. And now bring that awareness to the throat center. All awareness to the throat center. Maybe a point of light. And now left shoulder joint. Awareness concentrating in the left shoulder joint. Left elbow. Left wrist. Relax. Tip of the left thumb. Point of light. Index finger. Tip of the left middle finger. Point of light. Be effortless. Ring finger. Awareness now in the left pinky finger. Left wrist. Relax. Left elbow joint. Left shoulder. Body sleeps. All awareness now to the throat. Point of light. Right shoulder joint. Sensation, energy, all awareness in the right shoulder. Right elbow. Body sleeps. Right wrist. Point of light. Tip of the right thumb. Effortless. Right index finger. Point of light. Middle finger. Ring finger, relax. Right pinky finger. All awareness now to the right wrist. Right elbow. Right shoulder. Throat center, point of light. And now bring awareness to the heart center. Heart center. Relax deep in the body. Bring awareness to the left side chest, deep in the body. Relax. Heart center, go deep. Right chest, deep in the body, relax. Awareness to the heart center, point of light. All awareness now to the top of the sacrum, center of creativity. Top of the sacrum. Right hip, point of light. Right knee joint. Right ankle. Big toe. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. Right pinky toe, point of light. Right ankle, let the body sleep. Right knee. Right hip. Top of the sacrum. Left hip, point of light. Left knee. Left ankle, let the body sleep. Big toe, point of light. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. Left pinky toe, point of light. Left ankle. Left knee. The mind sleeps. Left hip. Navel center. Heart center. Go deep in the body. Relax. throat center point of light. And bring all awareness to the space of the midbrain. Light and energy awareness concentrates the midbrain. Body sleeps. Mind sleeps. Spacious awareness remains. Recognize yourself as this spacious awareness. Peaceful, and calm, and connected. That idea of something greater. Individual soul and that greater spirit connected in this moment. Aware of the breath that is already flowing through you. Beginning to reconnect to breath and the body that is breathing. Feel your way back into your body that's lying here on the floor. You can start to lengthen the inhalations as if you are pressing the inhale down towards the hands and the feet, bringing some energy and life back into the limbs. And taking your time when you're ready, a bigger inhale to fill yourself up. Soft sigh releases out. Moving in any way that feels good to bring you back into this body in this moment before you roll onto a side and spend a few moments resting. Taking all the time that you need to transition. There's no rush. When you feel ready, find your way up to a seat, comfortably seated with the spine long. Along with you comes this idea of yourself as a spacious awareness. Into that space together, let's take a nice deep breath. Exhale, sigh it out. Breathing in. Sighing out. And inhaling to our own. Bringing hands together at heart center. A moment of gratitude for this practice. It allows us to return to this sense of self, a spacious awareness. And in this awareness is the smarana, the self-remembrance. This is the essence, the truth of who you are. Open, aware, relaxed, connected to your something greater. Namaste.